BreadcrumbsPress is a new plugin for adding breadcrumbs navigation to WordPress-powered websites with full support for all sorts of WordPress posts, pages, categories, and everything else, and various popular third-party plugins like bbPress, BuddyPress, or WooCommerce. Let's see how we can set up the plugin. As you can see here, the breadcrumbs are not currently displaying, and plugin has detected the active theme, and it says that the theme is supported for automatic integration. We are not going to go into manual integration because that requires modifying the theme, and that depends on the theme itself. So you have instructions here, and for when you first start, if your theme is supported, you can enable integration here. We'll pick a theme directly. So this is generate press theme, and we'll put it on the top of the website container. There are several positions where you can do that, and for different themes you have different locations available, so depending on your theme you can pick one. And if you switch here to automatic theme integration, you only need to pick the location. The theme is already selected, so we are going to use top for this example. And if you refresh front page, you will see nothing, because usually breadcrumbs are not displayed on the front page. That is another thing you can control, and that is a visibility. And as you can see, front and home page is disabled by default, and you can control various types of pages where the breadcrumbs are visible. If we go to the blog page, you will see the breadcrumbs added here. If you don't like the way the breadcrumbs look, there are various things you can do. Let's make it a bit bigger. Okay, and now as you can see, the first home breadcrumb is a website name, but you can change that too. And we can switch to first crumb display. We can switch to icon, and let's pick this one here. And you now have an icon for a homepage breadcrumb. Okay, let's see how some other things look like. Let's say post. And by default, for posts, breadcrumbs include categories, but there are a lot of things you can change for that. And let's say options for main paths. That is the structure we are going to use for different post types we have on the website. And for posts, you can pick a taxonomy term and select which taxonomy, and you can enable posts page if that is enabled in WordPress. Since it is enabled here, it will be displayed. Posts page are enabled in WordPress reading. Here it is. If you use a static page for your blog posts, that is set here, and that is this blog crumb here. Depending on the post type, there are various ways you can build your breadcrumbs, and by default that is using a taxonomy. But as you can see, there are various other options, including full date. And this is only for posts because they are implemented that way in the WordPress. Pages don't have that. And depending on post types, custom post types, they also don't use dates in this way. But for posts, you can set full date. And if you refresh now, you will see this. So you have your static posts page called blog, and you have full date and for this post. If you go here, you will open archives for this date, but as you can see, blog crumb is lost, and you can enable it back. You can enable that for date and author archives too. And there it goes. If we open author archives, you have this. If you browse categories, let's see this category, and you have a parent category, but blog is missing, so you can enable that too for each of the taxonomies listed here. And so there you go. Plugin has full support for bbPress forums, and we go to forums, you will see breadcrumbs forming here. If you open some specific forum or subforum and topic, you see all the crumbs listed here. One of the things that bbPress lacks for the breadcrumbs, and it isn't really needed, but it's interesting, is edit mode. And as you can see, you can go back using our breadcrumbs here. Default breadcrumbs don't have that option. Also, default breadcrumbs are not displayed for user profiles, but BreadcrumbsPress plugin does that too, and it works for individual sub pages. Plugin also supports our own GD members directory plugin, and this members crumb is coming from that. So you can check that plugin too. And there you go. You can also do that for search. And let's see. And here it is. If you don't like having both breadcrumbs displayed, you can disable bbPress breadcrumbs here. Also, these first crumb forums can be changed. So you can put whatever title you want. Well, let's say support. And it turns into that. And it can be displayed as a custom HTML. You need to add that too, or icon. And we have forums icon, or you can use one of these two. And there you go. You can use your own icon via custom HTML also. Similar to support for bbPress forums, plugin supports BuddyPress with all their structures and WooCommerce plugins. If you need some additional styling, you can always use custom CSS to change any other aspect, but for most purposes, styling provided here is enough. One more thing I have missed, it's markup settings, where you can change what is used for a breadcrumbs separator. Right now it's this symbol, but you can choose one of the other provided icons. Let's check this out. Or this one. Or you can enter any character. You can select one of the popular characters here. Let's say bullet. Or you can enter any character you want. You can even hide the breadcrumbs, or you can use an empty tag and you can then style that tag to display something else. Plugin also has full support for breadcrumbs rich snippets, and it displays a JSON LD version of rich snippets for every breadcrumb displayed on page. So Google and other search engines will find and use that breadcrumb sequence from a rich snippet. When a plugin is set up correctly and breadcrumbs are added to the page, whether it's automatic or with manual integration, you will see the notice here that everything is in order.